Hey everybody, hope you are staying safe and healthy. We are gonna get through this and there will be an other side to this. So that first of all. Second of all, I'm gonna take you through today's WOD. We're gonna look at the mobility portion for today. We're gonna look at the warm up and of course the workout and the cool down. Let's get to it. Two things for our mobility to start off with. Okay, we'll do an ankle stretch. We will do a hamstring stretch. I might add one or two things just because emphasizing mobility during this time when a lot of us are spending more time sitting, laying down than we usually do, we should stay on top of our mobility. So I might add one or two stretches, but definitely ankle and hamstring. On the ankle stretch, a couple of options, quick, easy way. If you have a chair or a surface you can put your foot on like this. This is a great option here. Here's my chair. On top of it with one leg, I'm gonna lean into that ankle, applying force and pressure down, like so. I can kind of grab onto my chair here for some leverage, or here to pull myself into my ankle. Another option is just the ground, especially if you have a heavy object like a dumbbell. Go ahead and put that on your knee, down, 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 okay? And get a good ankle stretch that way. This is also a great way to stretch your ankle. For your hamstring, probably familiar stretch to many of us, throw that leg onto that surface, keep it locked out, lean into that leg, and that'll give you a great hamstring stretch, okay? So that is a great way to get a hamstring stretch. So that's it in terms of mobility. For the warm-up, we're gonna do a 6-minute AMRAP. Today it's all about quality, so make sure that you move well, take your time, and you get warmed up properly. It's 20 single unders. Okay, we'll do 5 push-up to down dog, 20 single unders again, and then 10 Spider-Mans. On the single unders, if you have a jump rope, great, do those. If not, a ski hop is a great way to kind of approximate that motion of jumping around. Use your arms, get that side-to-side momentum. Looks like this. Let me move my dumbbell so I don't trip. Here's your ski hop. I'm really just hopping side to side, and I'm using that arm swing. I almost started doing jumping jacks there for a second, but you get the idea, okay? That's a great alternative if you don't have a jump rope, okay, for those single unders, 20 hops. 5 push-up to down dog. I would just say on the push-up to down dog, make sure that you really, really, really press out and push that head through your arms so you get a good shoulder stretch, and also add some gas pedals there to get your calves in on the action. So in terms of my shoulders and my head, I really want to make sure that I push my head through, get a good shoulder stretch, and then on the other end, for my calves, in that down dog position, I want to make sure I get a little calf stretches going on there too. Cool. In the Spider-Man, the only thing I would really emphasize is so try to really get down as much as you can with that elbow to the ground, and when you turn, use your neck, turn with your neck, really try to look past your fingertips toward the ceiling. Really open up your body here, okay? Make the Spider-Man's quality. All right, we'll look quickly at the cool down. Pigeon pose, scorpion, child's pose. Pigeon definitely for that IT band, okay, for the hips. Here's our pigeon. Right, try to get low, 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 low. Scorpion, child's pose are also wonderful. We'll be using a lot of shoulders for those snatches. Here's our scorpion. All right, here's our child's pose. Let's get them all in. Spend some time during cool down, really stretching out our shoulders and the other parts of our body that those stretches help. Why does the chipper? Cool. Okay. We are looking for about 25 to 30 minutes of work. So it's a little bit of a longer workout. Pace yourself accordingly. Pretty simple in terms of how it's laid out. You have a 1,600 meter run, which is about a mile. So if you don't have that mapped out and you're going purely on time, what's your mile time? Maybe you take 8 minutes. Maybe if you're faster, you take 7 minutes. Otherwise, if you're longer, you do 9. But or maybe there's a mile time that you'd like to hit. Cool. So 1,600 meter run or a or a mile. 150 double unders, 50 alternating dumbbell snatches. Then we're doing an 800 meter run, 100 double unders, 35 snatches, 400 meter run, 50 double unders, 20 snatches. So everything decreases, the reps decrease. Let's talk quickly about modifications or alternatives. So on the run, I would say if you have access to a rower, rowing would be a great alternative. I might bump the numbers, the meters up just a little bit. So instead of 1,600 meter run for section 1, I would do maybe 2,000 meters on the rower, 800 meters becomes 1,000 meters on the rower, and 400 meters becomes maybe 500 meters on the rower. Cool? On the double unders, if you got them, great, do them. If 150 is really going to take you a long time, maybe you could scale the reps there, but essentially try to do 150 if you do have your double unders. If you don't quite have your double unders, this would be a great opportunity to practice, but you kind of want to limit how much time you're going to be doing that. So roughly we'll say on the 150 double under section 1, that'll be 2 minutes of practice. Give yourself 2 minutes to practice. The second section, 100 double unders become 90 seconds of practice. And finally, the 50 double unders become 60 seconds of practice. Cool? That's a great time to practice those double unders. If you want to do single unders, you can. That's what we usually do. We double the amount of single unders for double unders. 300 might be a little much. Maybe you go 250 here. Otherwise, 200 here on the 100 double unders, and you can double the 50 double unders to 100 single unders. I think that's pretty fair. Then on the alternating dumbbell snatches, essentially what I want to teach you about that is a couple points of performance. 1, your setup. 2, keeping that dumbbell nice and close. And 3, the transfer of the dumbbell, okay? Let's first quickly talk about setup on those alternating dumbbell snatches. First thing I really want to make sure I'm doing is I want to have that dumbbell in between my feet, okay, in between my toes as a starting position. Why? Because that allows me to really push my hips back and reach for that dumbbell and pick it up in a nice squat, okay? So if the dumbbell is too far in front of me, I'm gonna be bending over way too much. I run the risk of rounding my back, especially kind of in the heat of the moment in a WOD. So I wanna make sure that dumbbell is in between my toes, in between my feet. And you can see this allows me to push my hips back, keep my back nice and straight as I reach down and grab that dumbbell, okay? The other thing I want to emphasize is on the way up, it is all about that leg drive, opening those hips, especially a high volume workout like this. You're going to be doing a lot of snatches. The more you rely on that leg drive, the hip opening up, that hip extension, generating momentum to carry that dumbbell up and lock it out, the more you rely on that, the less you have to try to muscle that thing up, the better your performance will be, the more efficient you'll be moving. Cool? So again, I'm really opening the hips to get that dumbbell up and overhead. And this brings me to my second point. On the way down, I have 2 options. I can bring that dumbbell down, reach around with the other hand, grab it for the next rep, okay? Reach, put it down, reach around with the other hand, and for the next rep. Or I can hand it to myself in the air. I always like to kind of come up with the other hand in a receiving position like here, drop that dumbbell down, and I'm right into my second rep, handing it to myself, etc. And maybe that's something, if you're not quite doing that, but you're interested in trying to hand it to yourself that way, maybe take a second or 2 to practice that. It is ultimately a faster way to cycle that dumbbell, if that's something that you want to do. Cool? All right. I think that's pretty much it, guys. The only thing I would say too about the alternating dumbbell snatches is keep that dumbbell close, okay? Remember, scarecrow elbows. So much in that as in the snatch with a barbell. You want that shrug, you want those elbows up and back, keeping that dumbbell nice and close to your body, okay? Nice and close versus out, okay? That'll be a good, efficient way to move as well. I'll show you the WOD one more time, just so we're all clear on that. This is 4 time, looking for a stimulus of about 25 to 30 minutes. If you have any questions about any aspect of the workout, let us know, and I hope to see you in class. Take care, miss you, stay safe. Bye.